We want to introduce you now to a woman so daring, so adventurous, and so bold, it's practically contagious. Pascal Marceau is an adventurer that splits her time between Grand Marais, Canada, and a tent in the middle of nowhere. From climbing mountains to paddling Great Lakes, she says she loves snow, ice, and all of the winter exploration. And now she is preparing for her longest trek yet. Our Erin Hazanzadeh shares it's not about the recognition for her, it's about simply being without all of life's complications.
For Pascal Marceau, following her curiosity, exploring wonders of the world, evolved naturally.
I think it's like an evolution. You spend a little bit of time hiking and you just feel so good on so many levels that you kind of get hooked.
Hikes turned into multi-day backpack trips, which turned into winter trips to the mountains.
You start with easier mountains that you can hike on, and then you need crampons, and then there's crevasses, you need glacier skills, and you just build.
Her most meaningful feat thus far, climbing Mount Lucania, the third tallest in Canada.
And we did the first all-female ascent. Yeah. And in fact, there had only ever been one woman up on that mountain ever. It was off the beaten path. It's not a famous mountain. Everyone overlooks it because they go for the tallest. And there was no like written routes, no scripts. It was more of a discovery and exploration.
But that was in 2021, and you'll quickly learn Pascal doesn't stand still for long. Her next journey is a 450-mile ski journey across Canada's high Arctic. She leaves this month and will be out there for more than a month, her longest trek ever.
I'm going to be really, really honest. I'm actually scared. We're carrying all our food and fuel in a pulk, in a sled that we're pulling. They're more like backcountry skis. They're a little wider. They have a metal edge to help on the sea ice. It's about being on the land, traveling on the sea ice, and just, getting in sync with that kind of terrain. We're going to see walrus and seal and polar bears. The goal is to simply be. It's actually not about where are you going, or is it a first, or it's not bigger, better, faster.
Part of her training is happening in Grand Marais.
And the North Shore is endless playground. We've been doing bigger days where we go out into the boundary waters and we just lake ski.
All of this exploration is really about being present and truly living.
We're just like overwhelmed. We've become so connected that we're actually disconnected. So we've disconnected from even friends and family. Sometimes it's like we don't even pick up the phone as much anymore. And we've disconnected from our bodies. I think once you're in nature, your body, it takes a couple days, but your body, your mind, your soul, everything just finds, I believe, what's natural for humans. We find the rhythm.
Now to some inspiring women. A Twin Cities businesswoman says she was selling fun, but wasn't really having any herself. So she found a new way to blaze a new trail. What she did and what she learned was revitalizing. Rebecca Coles takes us on the inspirational journey that perhaps you'll want to take too.
Welcome to my sanctuary. This is where I come when I need to get away, to find peace and serenity. This is just one of the many places in the world. And there's a local businesswoman that is teaching women how to do the same thing. I was lucky enough to travel with her into the Smoky Mountains to watch her teach women how to soak in nature to soothe their soul. During Minnesota's cold, short winter days, nature enthusiast Debbie Nelson is hard at work indoors selling equipment to get people outdoors from high-tempo snow sports and water sports in White Bear Lake.
Okay, can you buckle it?
Yeah, perfect.
Who wants to tell me who has the right of way?
But it's here in her remote office where Debbie's passion to share the power of nature really gets fired up. It's where the walls come down, where women trekking into nature with Debbie often find their own true nature.
And that was the most powerful thing that I really experienced, is how you can learn from other like-minded women and get out in nature and just breathe the fresh air and just feel good. And kind of like, it was almost like it was a cleansing experience for me.
You know, been in the ski business for 28 years at that point, and I had sold fun. I sold fun to people, but I never had fun. I was asked by a group of women that I play tennis with to plan a trip, and that's how this whole thing started.
And she's gotten pretty good at it, helping women tap into their intuition to feel more inspired and to move forward.
A way to look inward, a way to experience life and nature in the very essence of the moment, disconnect from everything else, and also build friendships.
It is one of the funnest things to see women accomplish something that they never expected to accomplish.
Daring women to walk through plunging chilled snowmelt, pushing them to lunch on a craggy outcrop with spectacular panoramic breathtaking views, while encouraging them to embrace the silence of missing cities, tuning in to a cacophony of singing birds and buzzing bees. Debbie's wisdom and experience and her footprints leave a profound impression on the women who follow her.
I like the mountain locations. When I'm in the mountains, it's like my spirit soars, and so it's getting access to that and the areas that we go to, and I just come back feeling just zen.
And the beauty of the hikes dwarf the forged sisterhood, where tears are caught, not judged.
The first trip I went on, I had to come home early because my daughter was having a baby and had a medical emergency, and the group uplifted me and got me to the airport and got me home. And I knew that these were the kind of trips that I was going to go on again.
Women who travel with Debbie immerse themselves in real nature, tapping into fearless strength and inspiring wisdom, a spiritual solace that is hard to find at home.
I think that it's something that brings women together who are outside the box. They have never done anything like this before, and they don't, because they don't think they can, and they just start hiking and they just end up loving it.
Debbie's journeys culminate with gratitude, changed attitudes, new friendships, and deep appreciation of wild places. I know I will. Rebecca Coles, WCCO 4 News.
And yet another Minnesota woman who's giving us a reason to smile. This time she is starting a revolution, and in all places, it's happening in bathrooms. We first introduced you to Linda Hood a year ago. She's a 3M scientist, a marathoner who actually climbed Mount Kilimanjaro. But she suddenly lost the ability to stand after suffering a rare autoimmune disease. Linda quickly realized that using the restroom became inhumane. Her husband had to change her on floors as there were no adult changing tables in public buildings. The Vikings fan wanted to change that. Take a look at how her hard work and determination is paying off big time. U.S. Bank Stadium. It's where the Vikings play. It's where Linda Hood likes to play, too.
I am big-time Viking fan.
Linda's speech has slowed down. So have her legs. It's all pretty new.
I have not always been in a wheelchair.
She's always been an athlete, a marathoner who once climbed Mount Kilimanjaro. Out of the blue in 2018, contaminated chicken led to Guillain-Barré, a paralyzing nerve disease. And she quickly realized the most basic human function became dehumanizing.
Went to the bathroom and realized there's no place for me to get undressed. There's no tables. I have to get on the floor. I felt humiliated.
So she got to work. She won the title Miss Wheelchair Minnesota and made a mission to get adult changing tables inside of her beloved Viking Stadium.
When I just say that some of the powers to be will hear me.
They did. What struck you about Linda's story?
The need was there, and the information that Linda conveyed, her passion for this project, and knowing that she's been in contact with many people that also have the same needs as her.
John Drum showed Linda Hood the stadium's newest amenity.
Let's take a look.
Look, and look, the wheelchair fits. Look at this table. Oh my goodness. Look, I'm not on the floor. It brings tears to your eyes. It makes you feel human. It makes you feel included.
And this wasn't cheap.
It was over $30,000 when you look at the entire project from start to finish.
Was it worth it?
After seeing Linda's face today, obviously.
And just like that, the most unsuspecting room in all of the stadium became the most special one.
And that's all I wanted, is to come to the resident stadium and enjoy myself.
And here you are!
And here I am.
Still to come, you will be amazed at the artwork that you can find in the small town of Raymond, Minnesota. We're going to explain why next.